Hey there toy collector friends and Space 1999 fans alike, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, that is the time travelling toy collector, and this is the Space 1999 VIP Eagle, as featured in Space 1999 Year 1 Breakaway, and this is the latest addition to the Anderson Entertainment continuation of what was the Eagle, Moss and Hero Collector series of Eagle starships from the Space 1999 TV series from the 70s. And again, we have their exquisite packaging. I'm in a slightly different review area because of the size of it, and once I get the ship out I will move to my usual, so apologies if sound quality is a little bit iffy at the moment. It might be a bit more echoey than normal, apologies for that. But yeah, so again we have this lovely large white box. It has that magnetic flap system, which we'll look at in a second. It has nice Moonbase Alpha illustrations on the side. Space 1999. It's quite heavy, I have to tell you. This is very, very heavy. Illustrations there. The back has product shot, and the base has the reverse of the Eagle. So there we have it. I am doing this here just so I can do a bit of the unboxing, so you can see I have unfastened it already, so it's nice and easy, but you can have a look on the interior, which I think is beautiful. Let me come back and then just zoom in for you. So here we can see this is what you get on the interior of the box. Wonderfully detailed, some text here about the Eagle transporter, and there's for scale a member of the Moonbase personnel. We have some specifications and some line plans of the ship itself, with a nice little Moonbase Alpha and Eagle 1 in the corner. We also get here a certificate of authenticity signed by Jamie Anderson, and on the back, once again, we have a list of what is coming soon. This is what's available in the range and what's coming soon. Those of you who are familiar with the channel know that I've got this and this and this and now this, and I am eagerly awaiting these two, but I am hoping for more. I'm hoping we do get more than just we're seeing here. I hope that the range takes off. It isn't, as we know, a cheap range. I'm going to put that to one side for now and pull out slightly so you can see what this looks like. So we have this nice black spongy foam here. Then we have the ship itself buried in this indentation. Very nice, and we'll look at that in more detail obviously shortly. Very nicely protected though, I have to say, so however you choose to present it. Carry on down, we've got another layer of the foam, and at the bottom here we are with what comes with the Anderson Entertainment version. It is this landing pad, which has the greenish sort of eggshell plastic colouring on the bottom, and this sort of tamper graphic top cover. So that's really it for the packaging element. I'm now going to take the ship and the landing pad and move to my standard review area, and we will pick this up in a couple of seconds. It is a perfect time, however, to just say to you that if you're a fan of collectibles, toys, merchandise, etc., then please do like the video, and why not drop a subscription to the channel. It's completely free, obligation free, and selfishly, it will help me get towards my next significant milestone on this wonderful YouTube platform. So without further ado, thank you in advance for clicking and liking, and now let's relocate to the review station. And here we are back in the traditional review station, and I've put the packaging to one side, and here we have the VIP Eagle transporter on its base, which I've got levitating on one of these little boxes here, just to give us a bit of decent angle to explore the ship. It doesn't fasten. It doesn't fasten to the base, as you'll have seen in the last release. It does just sit there, and of course it doesn't come with one of the sort of floating stands that the Eagle Moss ships came with. And I'm neither here nor there with that, because they always had a slight sense that the things could fall over, although the central gravity on these is quite good, whereas here they're quite neatly displayed on the base. I think I said to you in a previous video, I did actually email Anderson Entertainment to say, would it be possible to pick up some of these for the Eagle Moss ones that we collected, because obviously they didn't come with these, just for consistency in display, and I have yet to receive an answer, so I may follow it up with another email, because why not? Just curious, because obviously I'd pay for it, but I just think it would be quite nice to be able to position them all and display them all with a degree of sameness, as if they are all in the bay up on Moonbase Alpha. So this Eagle incarnation is the VIP Eagle. Please correct me if I'm wrong, and I know you will in the comments. I think it only appeared in the sort of in Breakaway, which I think was the pilot episode, the opening episode for Space 1999, transporting the Commissioner to Moonbase Alpha. I think I'm right, but as I say, do please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. And this is again a game of two halves, because there's a lot of people for whom Space 99 is very, very dear. I am one of them, but I'm not perhaps as passionately invested as others might be. So for me, being completely candid, I really like these models. Do I think they are priced appropriately? My gut instinct is no. I don't think they're priced appropriately. I think they're overpriced, but by the same token, I think they're overpriced compared to their model mates, if you like, which Eagle Moss released and Hero Collector released, which were around the, I think, £50 mark. These are retailing at over £100. I've been able to, because I'm, as I'm sure many others are, signed up for notifications and newsletters, etc. I am able to pick these up at a pre-order reduced price, but even that is still quite hefty for what it is. Now, I'll caveat the for what it is because, as many of you will be aware, it does lack some screen accuracy. So again, most commonly noted is the lack of design around the cockpit windows, for example. But again, for the scale of the model, not the price, for the scale of the model, I think it does okay. For me, it does okay, detail-wise. That said, conscious as I am of the price, I am now siding more with some of those people who are saying, but it's not screen accurate around the paint decals around the cockpit and the command module, around some of the foot points, around the thrusters. And I do think if you're going to be charging upwards of £100, it would be wise, given the degree of scrutiny your fan base will be giving these models, to go as far as you can to make it screen accurate. Again, I come back to, for me, I'm content with what I'm getting because I love the models, I love the series. It's directly from a point in my childhood that I can go back to in a heartbeat, and these are fantastic. And I know somewhere I've got a white and green Eagle transporter that was released at the time. I think they were either Corgi or Dinky models, one of the two. And somewhere I have that, although my engine-y bits came loose, so, but then I could say the same for myself. Anyway, let's get this up in hand. Again, it's quite weighty, so, and I'll move this out of the way for now, purely because it's not really the main feature of this. Now, again, I find these really photogenic, and I will try and take some shots for the end of the video as per usual, and I do think that a lot of what they include on here detail wise is terrific. So, you know, moving along this way, we've got the paint work around the front module. I don't know if you can see that. Let me try and zoom in a bit, might be easier. So you can see the Moonbase Alpha symbols there. You can see the tamper detailing on the command module, and then I'll manually move down so you can see the detailing on the leg pods and the landing gear there, the detailing on the frame. Of course, the main difference in this particular release is the Moonbase Alpha orange pod, the orange pod denoting the VIP status of the passengers. Again, everything else I think is pretty much in keeping with what we've seen before. Again, there's some nice molded detail underneath the frame there as we get closer to the engines, and then we have the engine section and the thrust section itself with various pipes and canisters attached to those Bell engine thrusters. So again, the top view of this, very nicely detailed for me, you know, for my level of expectation. I think very nicely detailed. As I've said before, I do appreciate that mileage will vary depending on what you want, bang for your buck, and so on and so forth. We'll take a little look down the other side. You can again see some of that nice detailing, paintwork and modelling and moulding all the way along. I particularly like the detailing on the door section here. I'm not sure what it is about it on this version, but I do like it all the way along, and we can see everything there, detailing. I'm now going to turn upside down so you can get a nice look at the underside. There are the landing pads. You can see those vertical takeoff and landing thrusters and the landing struts underneath the detachable pod. It isn't detachable in this model, please remember. And you can see more molded detail in the frame there. As we move along, more thrusters, and then we get to those engine parts at the back. Let me reverse it round so you can take a nice look at those. I'm trying to get a view and get some light onto the interior there of the Bells, but it really isn't much to see. It's just that dark grey, charcoal grey, black, borderline black paintwork. So there's not, as I say, there's not that much to see. It is quite hefty. I don't know if there's die cast in there or just really strong sort of ABS plastic. I think it's ABS plastic. But it does feel very heavy. Again, I will counter that with it can feel as heavy as it likes, and just put that base back up here for a second. And then I know I've got to zoom back out again, don't worry. I'm not going to leave you too close and suffering as a result. So let's pull back out gently for that. Yeah, it is right robust, but do remember it is a model rather than a toy, and I have distinct visions of these pieces, the landing pads, and most definitely the engine thrusters at the back, notwithstanding an awful lot of robust play. Some positioning, you know, some zooming around the house, all that sort of thing that we do when no one's looking. Then yeah, you could probably get away with that. But I would be mindful that it is a display piece. Like all of the Eagles in this collection, it's a display piece. It's designed to be a display piece. So it isn't, crashing them into each other is great fun, but you probably only get away with it once. So my advice would be, don't do it. But again, a lovely model. The shape of it is and the size of it is identical to its predecessors. Again, the only thing I know that is significantly different, and of course I know I'll see it in the comments or in messages via my Instagram or whatever. Is it a cash grab from Anderson Entertainment? Some might say it is. The only major difference is a repaint of a section of it, so it's a reused mold. Again, that could be a fair criticism. I would balance it with, but the mold is the same, the structure is the same, for all of the Eagles except for this section. This is the one section that does change because it's the modular pods, so it would be that section that's replaced with the winch or the atomic waste carrying sled, or the laboratory pod or whatever. So it's worth, again, balancing that. The rest of it should look the same because that's the design and that's the aesthetic of Moonbase Alpha and the equipment. So the pod would be different and the rest of it would be the same. So is it a cash grab? I don't know if I'd call it a cash grab per se, but it's an easy win, put it that way, for them, because you are presenting a fresh Eagle, but in terms of producing the fresh Eagle, it's a paint job on a very small section of the model. I could be doing them a disservice. There might be some remodeling on there that I'm not picking up, but for me, and I'm sure for others, that I think it's fair to acknowledge that. Again, I'm very pleased I got it for the reduced price ahead of the release schedule. The reduced price is still expensive for what it is, and it does still remain a considered purchase, so anyone who's thinking about picking this up, bear that in mind. But for me, I'm really glad I've got it. I'm really glad I've added it to my collection of Eagles. I showed you earlier on when I did the unboxing section the card with the coming soon, and there are now only 2 Eagle models that are yet to be released, and that is the winch version, and it's also the sort of transporter sled version, which should hold the atomic waste. And in the Dinky / Corgi, I can't remember which it was, toys, they actually had some yellow waste canisters with hazardous material on it that you could winch up and down. And it doesn't look like we're getting those canisters in a pod, which I think is a bit of a shame, because that would have been a huge nostalgia rush for fans who would have probably clamoured to pick that up. That might be the one people who were nervous to invest in because of the cost actually went ahead and went, yeah, take my money, because that takes me right back to when this toy was released in the 70s. But we're not there yet, and I look forward to those coming out. And will I pick them up? I probably will, because I do like a complete set, and I do like this range. I do understand people's criticisms of the range around the price and the level of detailing, and I've touched on that. But speaking purely personally, it works for me. So you know, I do respect your opinions around what doesn't work for you, but for me, I really like this, and I do also really like the bases. They've grown on me since I first got the first one. I'd love to know in your comments below whether you're collecting this range. Do you agree that it's possibly overpriced for what we're getting, or do you think actually the price is appropriate? It's, you know, I think they're actually doing them now as relatively limited. I think it is a when it's gone kind of arrangement, certainly at the moment. So I don't know whether that is inflating the price element slightly. Obviously that would, if that were the case, because it means that they are far rarer, and because they are designed, not, I think, for this reason, but like many of the Eagle Moss designs that went before them, with some fragile elements. You know, even if they produced 10,000 units, of those 10,000 units, I would say a notable proportion will get damaged. They will, out in the wild, because it's very easy to damage them. It's probably quite easy to repair them, depending on what the damage looks like, but of course a repaired version is still a damaged version. So that again may in the future inflate some of the prices for these, but we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. Have you picked up yours? Let me know in the comments below. Equally, something I'd really like to know, and I have asked before, what other vehicles from the Space 1999 range would you like to see included in this Anderson Entertainment's extension of the Space 1999 ship collection? There are a few that I think I'd like to see, and maybe at some future point I will go over some of my thoughts on that. I think I've touched on it before, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. So please do let me know. But in the meantime, thank you for spending the last 17 or so minutes with me. I have been the time travelling toy collector. You have been a wonderful audience, and this has been from Anderson Entertainment, the Space 1999 Eagle Transporter VIP pod version. I made a right meal of that title, but you get the message. Available directly from Anderson Entertainment. You can find them online very easily. I don't think it's sold out yet, but if you are keen to get one, I probably would get one relatively swiftly. It just remains for me to say I look forward to seeing you in a future video. I hope you have managed to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and whether you have or you haven't, I'm just grateful that you've been along for the ride. And it just, as I say, remains for me to say that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever. Take care. Bye-bye for now.